Abigail and Liberty were the best of friends since childhood. Abigail was 13 years old and Liberty was 14 years old. The two friends wanted to go hiking and asked if they can be dropped off at Monon Bridge so that they can hike up through the trails and then get picked up in the evening. Around 1:45 that day, the two girls were dropped off at the bridge. Their Snapchat pictures show that they had a fun time together, enjoying the hike. At around 3:11, Liberty's dad texted them, letting them know that he was coming back to pick them up and for them to get back to the pickup location. When he got there, however, the girls were nowhere to be found. He walked along the trail to see if he can find them, but had no luck. Unable to find the girls, he frantically calls their cell phones and notifies their grandparents of the situation. By 5 o'clock, the girls were reported missing, and within an hour, a massive search began. The next day, on February 14th, the two girls were discovered, laying next to each other, murdered. Interestingly and courageously, Liberty had captured the suspect on the bridge with her cell phone, and she had recorded the last moments of herself and Abigail. The police released 2 images of the suspect, along with a 3-second audio recording. In it, the suspect can be heard giving the command, "Down the hill." Down the hill. Down the hill. Down the hill. On January 15, 2017, Toni Anderson was pulled over by a police officer. She was pulled over for driving on the wrong side of the street. The officer asks her a few questions and then lets her go, telling her to pull over into a parking lot and gather herself. This was the last time she was seen alive. She was 20 years old at the time and was going to meet some friends downtown. For 2 months, she was missing and was the subject of a large search for her whereabouts. On March 10th, her car was pulled from the Missouri River. It was 20 feet underwater, with her driver's side window down and her seat unbuckled. Interestingly, she sent a text saying she was pulled over by the police again. At that time, people wondered whether she was pulled over by a police impersonator after the first police officer pulled her over, mainly because she used the word "again." The police at the time stated that they didn't suspect any foul play was involved. An autopsy was performed, and the following details emerged from the investigation. They found 2 minor bruises on her knees. Those were the only injuries sustained before her death. There were also cuts to her abdomen, but they occurred after death. She was found laying in the car and had sand in her hair. Zhang was a visiting scholar in the United States from China. On June 9, 2017, Zhang was taking the public transit to meet a landlord to sign a new lease on an apartment. She got on the first bus and then got off a few stops later to switch buses. Unfortunately, she missed the second bus and texted the landlord saying she will be a few minutes late. On a surveillance camera, she can be seen waiting at a bus stop until a black Saturn Astra passes by her at 2 p.m. The car then circled back and stopped where she was 3 minutes later. She spoke with the driver and gets into the car. She hasn't been seen since. Around 9 p.m., an associate professor called the police to report her missing. The FBI and the police, in conjunction with the university, started a massive search. On June 19th, Crime Stoppers announced a reward of $40,000 for any information, leading to the arrest of those responsible for Zhang's kidnapping. On July 15th, the reward was raised to $50,000. Using the surveillance footage, investigators were able to determine who the car belonged to. The car belonged to Christensen, a student who graduated with a master's degree in physics at the university. He admitted to giving a ride to an Asian female but dropped her off after a few blocks. On June 30th, he was charged with kidnapping. The authorities believe Zhang is no longer alive. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe for future content.